Daniel Farke has just completed his press conference for Leeds United's clash against Stoke City tomorrow, and I think there are a lot of very interesting nuggets in here, something to dive into, and the odd little bit of news that I think could be quite interesting. And first off, we've got to start with the injury updates because the sooner we have a full squad, the sooner we don't have to play Archie Gray at right back. However, it looks like Junior Firpo, Djed Spence, and Stuart Dallas are all still out. As far as I can tell, they're all still on track to come back roughly when expected, a couple of weeks away to a month maybe for Stuart Dallas. But the more progress we can get in these areas of the pitch, the better. Because, sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold still. Because, of course, the more players we have, the more options we can have. Junior Fopo as an attacking wingback in this league, I think, would rip things up, although I don't really want to drop Sam Byram at the moment, but he's still an option off the bench. This means that for the game against Stoke, it looks like we are likely to see Archie Gray starting again. This is at right back, and Farke made a few comments on this. He said that it's not his job to rest him for England's under-19s, and that is a very, very valid point. It is Archie Gray's job right now to play for Leeds United, and I can see why Daniel Farke wants to get as many minutes as possible out of him. This means that off the top of my head, for the last 5 matches Archie Gray was available for club and country over about 2.5 weeks, he will have played 90 minutes per match. That is a dangerous amount of minutes to put into legs that are so young, and it could lead to injury problems in the long term. However, for now, it doesn't look like it has, so let's hope that Archie Gray manages to stay fit enough to play this match and potentially against Huddersfield. Specifically, Daniel Farke said that turnaround wasn't an issue for the match against Stoke City because it's been 3-4 days or so. But the match against Huddersfield might be more of a problem. We've got a day less. I think it's 4 days from the last match into Stoke, and then 3 for Stoke going into Huddersfield. It's a lot more compressed, and players that have had repeat injury issues, like Sam Byram, for example, could have problems with the speed of that turnaround. Sam Byram not being available doesn't make it easier for Archie Gray, however, very important to note. He also made the note in the press conference that he's not paying attention to the league table at the moment, Daniel Farke. He's saying, of course, that it's easier to be in 3rd place than 23rd place, and if we were losing every other match, then we'd have big problems. But the goal isn't on getting a specific position in the league at this moment. It's about building a mentality and a structure that is much better at winning matches. The more you've got that mentality, the more winning becomes a habit. And the more winning becomes a habit, the more the table starts to sort of take care of itself. After all, I've not been really watching the table myself this season so far. Occasionally, I'll take a look to say, this is where we are right now, it's good progress, but it's not something that I'm like looking at who's 1st and 2nd and 5th and 6th and going, we need to get a result and we need these to not get a result, because that's not a problem right now. What is good enough is getting in the habit of playing well, performing effectively, and getting the wins. The points will take care of themselves. Once we get into a habit of winning matches, we'll be completely fine. In a few months, I am sure I will be keeping an eye on Ipswich and seeing if they've dropped points or not, but for now, I am not too bothered about that. Also made a point about another one of our young players that's playing quite well, Pascal Struijk. He's very much pleased with Pascal Struijk. For some reason, I've written please there, so I'm just going to slightly rejig that. Save it. There we go. He is pleased with Pascal Struijk and his development so far. He's become a fundamental part of the squad at the moment and is arguably leading really well from the back. It was noted in a few places, I think on Just Joe's stream, for example, that he's taking more of a leadership role on at the moment. He's being a bit of a general in that back line, and that is something that we've really missed out on recently. Especially with Liam Cooper dropping out of the side and Luke Ayling not being first choice anymore. There's a lot of seniority that's dropped out of the squad, and seeing the likes of Ilham Melier and Pascal Struijk, who have a lot of appearances for Leeds, but they're not of those older age groups, is absolutely key. The fact that he's able to lead alongside Joe Rodon with Byram on the outside of him, he's surrounded by experience, but he's still taking a key role, and that means that he's going to be better when we don't have Joe Rodon next to him, when, for example, it's Charlie Cresswell that has to play at the back. He's going to sort of be a general in that back line and order them around and make sure that we do not concede goals. Didn't quite work out against Norwich, but let's hope that it works going forwards. On Patrick Bamford being back, Daniel Farke had a lot to say as well. Said he's very glad Patrick Bamford is back, and he offers a new, different type of centre-forward for us to play with. Jules Peroux is a straight number 9, bit of a poacher, arrives in the box a little bit late to finish off moves. Jorginho Rutter, as I mentioned in my last video, give that a watch if you haven't yet. I was quite proud of that one, although it was 2 hours ago. Said that Rutter is more of a sort of tricky player. He's better at dribbling and finding passes than finishing off moves. You can tell by the fact he's only got 2 goals this season so far. And in spite of the fact that, according to Farke, we are on par for our goal tally this season, having another goal scorer that's proven in this league and has finished plenty of opportunities in the past is key to making sure that we are able to turn good performances into results. Somerville scoring is good and is part of what Farke said in terms of having goals from all over the pitch, but another number 9 that is fit and potentially on form, massive, especially in the Championship where you need to perform consistently. Draws will not do. You need to win. A draw is just 2 drop points rather than 1 gained. In addition to that, he discussed the way that the big personalities of Liam Cooper and Luke Ayling still have a role to play. A lot of the younger players haven't necessarily played a lot of football at this level yet, so being able to have that experience is massive. You've got someone that is able to lead on the pitch in the tougher moments. So when you're 2-0 down against Norwich, for example, even from the sidelines, they were seen coaching and giving advice to the likes of Archie Gray and Pascal Struijk. The fact of the matter is those players are essential to teaching the players that are younger than them how to get through the trickier situations. A lot of people are saying that there's no point having them in the squad. We might as well sell them. At the very least, give them the decision, because I think they've earned it in terms of their past here. But if we want to get rid of them, we're losing a big mentoring factor in the squad, and that is a serious risk. It's especially important when we've got such a young group. I think the eldest person that started at the weekend was 24, 25, Piru or Ampadu or someone like that. Did Byram start? Byram started. Byram's 29. Outside of Sam Byram, of course. Yeah, you've got to remember that the Leeds United squad at the moment is incredibly young and will need a lot of guidance, and that's what we've got those players for. In terms of playing against Stoke, Daniel Farke said he didn't want to get into the old English metaphor of Stoke on a Wednesday night, can you do it in the wind and rain? But it's still valid. He brought up the way that Stoke are going to be incredibly intense and they're going to bring the game to us, and they're not going to sit off and just let us play football, because that would be very, very stupid of them. It would offer us far too many opportunities. Instead, they are going to press up, they're going to try and make things difficult, and they need to be respected. But then again, they've not got very many clean sheets so far this season, as I'll go through in my preview, which I'm releasing tomorrow. I've also got a stream coming tonight where I'll be covering the deadline day of my Football Manager save. So if you want to drop in and ask a few questions, go for it. It should be a good time. I think at 6 till 7:30 or something like that. We'll find out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick rundown of Daniel Farke's press conference. I'm planning to do as many as I can because I just think it's quite interesting to look at what the manager's thinking. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and if you've got any questions, like the video and subscribe. Even drop a membership if you've got a few quid spare. Hugely appreciated. And we'll see you later.